Alright, this is Awesome Sauce Radio. I'm Blind Adam, the Comic Pimp. I'm at Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con 2023. I'm here at the Sex for Wheels booth with Laramie
Taylor. Yeah.
Laramie Taylor. How are you doing today, man?
Doing good. Having a good final day of the con.
Yeah. How's it been for you the show been this year?
It's been pretty good. I haven't done Comic Cons in probably 5 or 6 years, so well before COVID. So yeah, I know they're kind of slowly coming back. So it's not as maybe as busy as it had been before, but it seems to be growing.
Yesterday seemed pretty packed, man.
It was.
I was in a couple lines for a couple hours.
Yeah, it was really busy yesterday.
So what is Sex for Wheels about?
Sex on Wheels is about a young woman who draws with her mouth, like I do, who does pinup girls, all different kinds of body types. She is very body positive, except when it comes to herself, because she has a lot of internalized ableism about the disabled body and beauty, and so she is trying to break into comics as a comic book cover artist. Her roommate and best friend is a cosplayer and a webcam model, and kind of helps her open up some and lose some of her walls and boundaries around her issues with her body and sexuality. So it's a slice of life book, basically, about disabled life and art and beauty and the disabled body and sex and things like that.
That's awesome. How much of your own real life blends into the story, since it's slice of life? I know that
a lot of the disabled experience comes from personal life, from myself or my wife, who was the co-writer. So a lot of it is very much based on or inspired by things that we've gone through, or ways that we've been treated and things that we've had to deal with. So a lot of it is very much grounded in that. But of course, being a work of fiction as well, there are lots of things that are also made up for the story.
Of course. Let's see. Like I said, even before we started recording, from one person who's disabled to another, how do you feel we show that people with disabilities, do have a positive sexual experience, and start breaking those barriers a little bit?
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to help do, is that in order for us to start seeing ourselves as desirable and beautiful and sexy like anybody else, we need to actually start seeing ourselves reflected in media and shown that way. And because nobody ever does. Anytime we're in a TV show, if there's a disabled character in a show, they're always the little brother or the little sister who's there to teach somebody a lesson and be inspiring. It's what we call inspiration porn. And so this is actual inspiration porn. I decided to put the porn in inspiration porn. And she even wears a shirt on the cover of the first issue of the comic that says inspiration porn, and it has 2 handicap symbols going at it doggy style.
I want the XXX movie rights right after I make the Cherry movie.
Okay, it's actually it's in development for television. We wrote the pilot.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah, we wrote the pilot, and it's in development for TV. We're looking at different avenues to go with it.
Well, speaking of things that have been in development, any updates on Voice in the Dark?
Voice in the Dark is also in development right now. I have a call later today with the company that has the rights to it. The writers' strike deadline is at midnight tonight. All of the Hollywood writers are going on strike for better terms. Well, yeah, they need to, because streaming, especially recently, has really started to screw over the writers.
Exactly.
All the contract terms were written for the way things were being done 8-10 years ago, and they're not being done that way anymore. And then you've got shows that entire seasons of shows get made and they never come out, so those actors can't claim those credits. The cast and crew that worked on it aren't getting the things they deserve. The writers aren't getting residuals for it being shown. It's completely destroying the whole way it's supposed to be set up. And so at midnight tonight, they go on strike, and until they get a new deal that works all that out and starts giving the writers a better deal. So all negotiations and stuff on development are kind of screeching to a halt. But I do have a call later today with the company that is handling Voice in the Dark to talk about some of the things, where things are at with a few companies right before this all shut down. And then we'll see where things are at after.
That's awesome. What?
But I also wrote the pilot for that.
Sweet. What advice would you give to someone who's disabled, who is looking for just a little bit of hope they're still kind of frustrated and trying to figure out what they want, who they are, and all that. Because I know there's always
Just try things. Try everything. Explore everything. You don't know what you are or what you like or what you want until you try it. So go out and do everything that they tell you you can't do. Try everything that you're not supposed to, and just see what works and what doesn't for you. Don't let anybody else tell you what works for you. You figure it out, and do what you want to do, and be that change that you want to see. All the way up through A Voice in the Dark, even. It took me a while to realize that I wasn't writing disabled characters. I was telling the kinds of stories I grew up with, people like Stephen King and things like that I liked, but I wasn't doing disabled characters. I was kind of going on the idea that if I was just a successful disabled creator, that would be enough to show disabled people they can do it too.
Right,
but
yeah,
I'm like, but we need our, if we're not characters in our own stories, nobody is going to, I didn't grow up with characters that looked like me. I didn't grow up with characters that were like me. So it never occurred to me to put me in my own stories or to put somebody like me in my own stories. I was writing the kinds of stories that the people I grew up with wrote. And I realized that I kind of had a duty to myself, if not the entire disabled community, to start putting disabled characters in everything I do, because you're not going to see more of them until we put them in ourselves.
Right.
Because the able-bodied community has had years and years and decades, and the best we get is little bit characters and inspiration porn type characters that are just there to make you feel good and then go away. And we don't get to be messy. We don't get to be normal. We don't get to have problems and learn lessons ourselves. We're always just this perfect little inspiration story, and we're not. We're human beings, so we're just as messy and complicated and human as anybody else. And so
can I say thank you for that?
Thank you.
No, because every time a special speaker would come to the school for the blind I graduated to, there was like, I was like gold medalist in Special Olympics, and then I got a scholarship at college. I was top of my class. And I was like, can't we have one person who said, yeah, I went blind, and I was addicted to smack, and I fucked up my life. And
yeah, right? It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Exactly. In Sex on Wheels, the main character, her name is Mo. It's Morning Glory is her name, but her name is Morning Glory because her parents are hippies, so they gave her the first name Morning Glory.
Yeah,
but she goes by Mo because she hates it. So Mo she's got a drinking problem. Her first service dog just passed away in the last 6 months, and she's spiraling. She's not the nicest of persons. She's got a really, swears like a sailor kind of a mouth. Lots of profanity, a bit of an attitude, and is dealing with a lot of shit. She is not a role model. She is not a hero. She is not somebody to aspire to be. But she's human. And she's going through things, and she's figuring out life, and that's what people do. You figure out what you're doing, you learn from your mistakes, and you do better. And that's what her story is. It's not a story of her showing everybody around her how to be better. It's about her figuring out how to be better. And fix her own problems and find out who she is and what she wants to be.
That's awesome.
And I think we need those kinds of stories because we never get them.
Or we rarely get them.
A black actor friend of mine told me that there's 3 stages of representation. First, they ignore you. Then they fetishize you.
Okay.
And then they accept you. So there were no disabled people. Then there are disabled characters, but they're always role model, inspiration, little, feel-good stories.
Yeah.
The next step is this. We get to just be like everybody else.
Awesome sauce. When this is winning all sorts of awards,
I wish.
And I'm the first blind person to win an AVN.
Awesome.
We will take over the world.
And what's funny about you mentioning that is that the first storyline, which is the first 6 issues of the comic, the first storyline is about her trying to break into comics, her getting into comics, her also starting to get into webcam modeling with her roommate, and exploring being a disabled webcam girl, and what's that even being a thing. And it ends up putting her comics work in jeopardy because it gets leaked that she's doing that, and there's all kinds of, you got Gamergate and shit like that out there that likes to go after women that dare to do anything, remotely independent and sexual, or,
Don't get me started. This is a family-friendly event. Don't get me started.
Yeah, right. So anyways, she ends up spoiler, she ends up having to decide which she wants. Does she want to continue exploring her sexuality in the webcam thing, or does she want to have her career in comics? And so that's kind of the first story.
That's
But
awesome.
then second season, she starts going more into the or second storyline. She starts going more into the porn side of things and getting into webcamming and goes to AVN, and I want to go in that direction with it.
That's awesome. Where can the audience find you and your work online?
I'm on Twitter. I'm XLARIM, as in Michael, X Laramie X. On Twitter, so at XLaramieX on Twitter, and I'm Laramie.Taylor, I think, on Facebook. And if they do a search on Sex on Wheels, there's the Kickstarter for Sex on Wheels.
All right, so this
it's
is
already
being done
passed,
through
but they can pre-order the first volume when it comes out in October in paperback and hardback. If they look for the backer kit pre-order page.
And retailers also pre-order?
Retailers can contact me about getting pre-orders. Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's like 8 months out, but yeah.
When we shut the camera off, I'll definitely want to inquire. I definitely.
Yeah, I'll give you all the stuff to put on
I
the
want to
screen.
help you support this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
If I reach out to my friends at AVN Network and XBiz on your behalf, and
Thank you. That
try
would
to
be
get
great.
you some,
I would love
try
to.
to get you as much.
I would love to. And somebody
Much
suggested to me that I
coverage
should get an OnlyFans page for her.
Yeah.
for Eden and
You
Mo.
know
Yeah.
what?
Eden's her roommate.
Yeah. I mean, you set up OnlyFans and Chatterbait accounts for for the characters and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time.
Thank
and,
you.
Good. Congratulations on all success and good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye now.